Well, as you may have gathered from the opening footage, I'm back at the Big Loch today. This will be the first time I've fished here for weeks. I was actually out here about a fortnight ago and I had intended fishing, but the conditions were so difficult. It was blazing sunshine, roasting hot. I just shot some drone footage and went home, meaning to come back in a couple of days, but that seems to be my way. A couple of days turned into a couple of weeks. So anyway, I'm back at the loch, and as you can see, it's flat calm. And there are a reasonable number of fish rising, so I'm going to start fishing with a couple of dry flies and see how we get on. Certainly pulling flies in that, on that mirror surface isn't going to work. I'll just put everything down. Chances are even casting dries will put the fish down, but we'll give it a go and see how we get on. I'm fishing with the old faithful Sage Z-axis 9-foot 4-weight. But my goodness, it's flat calm. It's really warm. Surprisingly, I'm not getting eaten alive with midges, which is a kind of strange. Kind of peak midgie season now, early September. I've just realised I've come down to the water and left my hat in the car. I feel like I'm naked without it. I'll maybe have to nip back up shortly and get it. Anyway, I'm fishing with two flies, fishing with a sort of daddy terrestrial stroke daddy imitation on the tail and a small hopper on the dropper. And I'm just going to cast them out and let them drift around. I just tweak them and twitch them occasionally. But since I started casting, all the fish have stopped rising. I wonder if the two are connected. This could well be my last trip here this season. The end of the season is drawing ever closer. Really, we've got 4 or 5 weeks left. And I'll probably spend the bulk of the time that's left on the rivers, not just the local river, but I've got a few plans to go other places. And I'm a dyed-in-the-wool river fly fisher. The loch fishing's fine, but I do prefer the rivers. Yeah, still a few fish rising, but they're way out in the middle of the loch. The slightest movement sends a shock wave of ripples way out in the loch. I'm sure that doesn't help. There's not another soul here. I've got this entire place to myself. The occasional car going down the far road. It's almost unreal how still it is. There are 1 or 2 fish rising just off this promontory, this headland that juts out. But I'm pretty sure by the time I get near them they'll stop. They're pretty easy spooked when the water's as flat as this. So I'll just wade nice and slowly. A wee bit of a ripple would be useful. It certainly shouldn't be difficult to spot any takes anyway. Right, I think I better nip up to the car and get my hat because my head's beginning to overheat. Can't have that. Right, I've got my hat. I'm also going to move further down the bank. Seems to be a wee bit more of a ripple down this way, although I suspect by the time I actually get down to the water it'll have come and gone. We'll go and see anyhow. So I'll see you when I get down there. Well, the ripple has gone, as I half expected it would do. Chasing ripples seldom works. We'll have a few casts anyhow. We have enough lot of choice. It's either have a few casts or not have a few casts. There's no in between. But my goodness, what a lovely morning. 25 to 11. I'll just cover the riser there. See what happens. Yeah, there's a few, just the odd fish rising. The trouble is, these fish are going to be cruising around. So by the time you cast to where the fish, you saw the fish rise, it's probably moved away from there. And unless they're rising regularly, you can't really see a pattern. See, one just goes away. That's the same fish in. It means it's moving away from me. I think these rising fish might be taking something subsurface, midge pupae or something like that. Whoa, there we go. Oh, and it's gone. My goodness, I can't afford to lose them a day like this. Seem to be a reasonably good wee fish anyway. I think that took the daddy. Which is a long shanked barbless hook. And nothing loses fish more readily than a long shanked barbless hook. But hey, it's good to get a take. I get the odd comment on the videos about fish handling, how you should always wet your hands when you're handling a fish. And I always do, although it's not always dead obvious in the video, but I always do have wet hands when I'm handling fish. The hands are either wet to start with, or it's been done off camera. Understand, these videos are edited, so it's not a continual sequence from start to finish. There's bits cut out, and if we didn't do that, it would be really boring to watch. It's probably boring enough as it is. But unedited video would be really boring to watch, and sometimes the hand wetting bit gets edited out. I actually find it quite amusing. You see some fishing videos, the guys go out of their way to make it obvious they're wetting their hands because they know they're going to get such a hard bloody time of it if they don't. It's quite funny. But yeah, you should always, joking aside, you should always wet your hands. Well, the dry flies are just not cutting it, I'm afraid. So we've got a wee bit of ripple now, so I've swapped over, put on a pair of wets, traditional wets, I've done Kelvin or some kind of bumble pattern, a black thing, jungle got cheeks. Get that a go. Well, it's just not happening. The last few trips I've had here have just been pretty much the same, just pretty poor slow fishing. As I said earlier, this will likely be my last trip here this season. I'll use the remaining weeks of the season to concentrate on the rivers. That's just one fish today and I lost that. Not brilliant, although it did seem to be a decent enough fish. Small consolation. I have a trip planned for later this week to the Upper Don in Aberdeenshire, so that'll be a bit different. I'll see how that goes and I might shoot a bit of video there. So I'll close the video there, I think. Not the most productive session, and I'll decide whether or not to publish it once I'm home and get a chance to look it over. I know the drone footage is nice. So that's it for now, chaps. I'll end it there. Many thanks for watching and hopefully I'll see you in the next video, whenever that may be.